Thank you. Yeah.
All right, so we'll call the Dauphin County Board to order, and roll call. We have Matt and President David Craig as well. So we have members constitute quorum, and we can move forward with business. Is there any public participation? No public. We will move on to approval of meeting minutes from our February meeting on 2025. You all should receive that information in advance.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Motion second. Is it further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries. Next item we have on our agenda is the financial summaries and projections from XC. Victoria, are you going to do that presentation?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And so we have continued to follow the performance of Hollywood Casino at Penn National Racecourse, as well as capturing information for all the facilities in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And I could just summarize that between January 2025 through March 2025, which numbers have been reported by the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board on their website, that gaming in the Commonwealth continues to increase. In fact, March 2025 was a record month in the Commonwealth's gaming, but particularly for Hollywood Casino at Penn National Racecourse. The slots revenue fell slightly, a small percentage from March of last year, so they compare the current month of the prior year. However, the iGaming at Hollywood Casino continues to thrive, rise. In fact, March 2025 iGaming revenue was up 25% over March 2024 iGaming revenue. And so with that, we provided you with projections for the 2025 performance of Hollywood Casino and what it's potentially doing. Local share municipal game grants for the 2025 grant cycle once that begins. Any questions?
Thank you very much. I don't see any reason for this to be this longer as this lays out what we are working with these numbers. So, thank you much. No other questions or concerns. Let's move on to item number 6 from Brooke regards to her reports on gaming grant distribution.
Gaming grants, they are moving along as they should. I provided each of you a printout from our Oracle system showing the awards with their available balance. Applicants have been made aware of the March 1 deadline that they needed to meet. Everybody has responded. No issue with this as usual. If you have any questions, once you review that spreadsheet, just let me know.
Any questions regarding to the distribution grants? So, no concerns with any operation?
No. Everybody was notified of the upcoming expiration. So if they request an extension, they send in. Those grants will be closed out and handled as usual.
Previous. I know you go back to 19.
Yeah, some of them have
Okay.
prior extensions.
Yeah.
And the notes are in there.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
business
sure.
as usual.
Yep. Okay.
We're good to go.
Great.
Any other questions for Brooke? Hearing none, let's move on to the recommendation with regards to gaming applications. You guys received a proposal for recommendations to the county commissioner with regard to distribution of gaming funds. As you can see when you thumb through, you get to the rear of this, right? Our amount that we are suggesting or recommending to the county commissioner exceeds the amount of revenue taken in. So we've kind of gone a little bit overreach on our portion. It's not unusual. We've done that in the years past. If you have any questions or concerns with regards to that, we can discuss that. Also, I think in our last meeting we had discussed vision resources. They had some issues internally with regards to being able to expend the funds that they were requesting. We asked for an update from them, and as of yet, we haven't got anything back from them. Would be my recommendation, since there's no clear path forward for the expenditure of these funds. The recommended amount was $15,000 from a budget request of $32,400. Would be my recommendation. I would entertain a recommendation to delete that from the recommendation.
What page are you on, Dave?
It's about 3 pages back.
Okay.
Exactly 3 pages.
So I'm sorry, recommending that's now
Just
zero.
zero.
Okay. They can't spend.
We've reached out to them.
So, the Active Vision Resources initially applied for one project. Around the time of this board's February 10th meeting, they submitted a revision to their application request. Adding an additional project, I guess, to go with their original project and increasing the request. About a couple of weeks ago or 10 days ago or so, they reached out to George's office indicating that they have had a tricky year and that they're no longer able to complete the revised project.
Okay.
And that they were going to follow up to clarify their request, and they have not followed up
Yeah.
to clarify what they're requesting. And so the recommendations that had been developed included them receiving an amount of $15,000 towards the original project, since, the office was informed that they couldn't do the revised. But since they haven't followed up, I think the chairman is saying that he would not recommend moving any sort of recommendation for a grant for them to the Board of Commissioners, since it's unclear of what they either can do or are proposing to do. You want me to get any further somewhere?
I think there's some miscellaneous ones that we may want to hit that have some recommendations. Here down, there are conditions.
Just do that all at once, or
I think maybe hear, what some of
Go
the
through the
other,
rest, yeah.
comments are.
Let's see on the first sheet that we have. They're going to continue their safety courses. Wasn't there one in a municipality, but that's not on the front? No. Third priority.
So I would just, mention that in your recommendations, there's 1.8 recommended for the high school contiguous. 1.8 million.
Yep. And then on the fourth page, there's a condition for Pembroke, condition of matching grant for their master site.
Okay.
Look at this for the municipalities, that's 5.7 million. Rough numbers going out.
Municipalities and municipal services, that would include like fire departments,
Then on the following page,
I will say, just a comment on those two categories, the contiguous and the other municipalities and authorities. It looked like we made a nice shift this year to try to fund as much of their requests as they could on, on approved projects. So, trying to have more of a substantial impact into those projects, which I think look like, I think we talked about that last year, where we were funding maybe spreading out more.
yeah, sprinkling it, not making a difference.
Yeah, and I think that's great, especially those areas, definitely areas that have been a priorities to do the municipalities, including the host and contiguous.
So looking further back in regards to the other out there, looking at Broad Street Market is another one with a condition on renegotiation of the lease. I think what came to mind was they had to make the roof repairs along the lines, and it normally doesn't do those sorts of things. So next page, Handles Helping Hand Foundation. Condition on being used for construction costs. The following page, Left Out Organization Program Inc. Condition on use for CPR. And the following page, Off the Streets, Middletown. Condition to be used for household items. Just down from there, the Pennsylvania Council of Churches contingent on receipt. So then we and then 2 pages from there, United Disability Services Foundation, condition of fund dogs to Dauphin County family. So that summarizes all the way to the back for our recommendations that we go through. So we're looking there at the totals and such. That's 2.4 in rough numbers there. So if you look at it, the host contiguous are 1.8, municipalities is 5.7, and others 2.4 in round numbers.
Hey, David, in this section, under the Roller Nation, we have a 19,000 on their request. As I recall that presentation, in the stadium, a new public address and sound system. Okay. But didn't they just announce that they're not going to use the stadium? That the stadium has structural issues for the year?
I think you're right.
So certainly, if that's still something they can utilize, but
For the complex on Rangers Avenue.
Community Athletic Complex on Rangers Avenue. I know they refer to it as a War Memorial Veterans Field.
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
It just feels like that's they're not going to utilize. You don't need a public address system. Yeah, and it sounds like it caught them off guard. I don't think they were expecting, from what
Yeah.
I read, but
Where was that at?
they just announced it. It's all in the news, live or on ABC.
Structural
They have
issues.
structural issues. Put a letter out. Yeah, that
So,
that they're looking to either move all their games to away location or to figure out what they're going to do with the facility. It was really recent.
Am I hearing a motion in regards to that? Are we thinking that we want to turn this 0, or reach out to them, or what are we
I think
thinking?
I would still support it. It's just a reach out. If they're not, or there's no reason to hold those documents. they can't utilize them.
Yeah, Steel High football loses its home field for 2025 season.
Maybe back in the 26th season, maybe I don't know that they're abandoning that location for good. It's just a question.
You can't really table it. They'd have to.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's not. They may have bigger issues to deal with that. To get that stick.
good recommendation.
Good catch.
Watch TV.
And retain information, and that's, imperative to something else, right?
I'm full of really useless info, generally. In this case.
I never heard any issue. So, I'm not sure I'd made the correlation to this. That was months ago.
Yeah, right.
That's the
I
impressive
just
part.
look at that.
Oh, yeah.
So, will you reach out to the applicant, or are we looking at which way?
No, we looked at the application and it's consistent that the application for the sound system involves the athletic complex. So the recommendation and options could either be to attach a condition that the facility is used, in this year in case they are able to solve the issue. I don't know what the timing or, who makes those determinations. Or not recommended.
I'm comfortable with the first recommendation. I don't, they would have to utilize it unless you have somewhere else. The dollars could come back, right? If they're not in, they end up not utilized. It's not like they disappear. They still utilized in some way, for a future project. So
Yeah.
And
They would.
it might be that coming in the next year maybe for this could be part of a larger funding request to try to help out with whatever reconstruction they need to do.
So that's up to the board, if you want to include it as a recommendation or, attach a condition or something else.
I'm fine with allowing money to stay in there, as Matt pointed out. If they can't extend the time, they come back. I mean, they could certainly reach out to us earlier and say, hey, use that, or maybe we can always ask, right? Potentially. But I'm fine with putting the money in there. I mean, I don't think it's going to not go to good use. Obviously, it's a need facilities. Maybe a little larger than we know at this point. So
is there a condition?
Yeah, used by when? Used by this year, or do you give them another year?
Spend the funds. So is the condition that the funds can't be used until the structural upgrades are completed, that the field is in use for the sound system?
Yeah,
I think so.
that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that 12-month gap is going to have to be looked at as well. Because if they're not playing in 2025, they're not going to play again until 2026.
Six.
Most likely
Earliest.
their wouldn't be met, but they would still have the remaining 3 years if they asked
Right.
to extend or to waive that March 1 deadline.
Yeah.
Wait the March 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so the condition of it being up and running before the sound system was used.
The condition on athletic complex being in use for the 2026 season,
Yeah.
for school year, meaning the same
Football season.
football season.
if we are good with proposed changes and conditions, the new recommendation total will be $10,066,085.
So that includes taking out vision.
Correct. And then after the summary page total, we have those applicants that had submitted applications, however, but did not receive recommendation for funding. That's roughly 56 applicants. Or 56. Any other items we care to discuss? Our large list. I know it's a fair amount of to look at. Lots of.
I have a question. Did I miss public comment?
Yes, that was item number 3 for public participation.
This meeting started at 3?
Correct.
Okay. Did I get here at like 3:03 or something? I know nobody from the public's here. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what time you walked in the door, but it was definitely public participation because we were down on item 4 or 6. If you want to hang tight for a couple minutes, just do this stuff. I don't mind circling back and asking for that. I don't think it's out of the question, right? Anybody have a problem?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Did you sign in?
No, is there?
It's out in the vestibule.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where were
you
we?
ready for motion?
Sure, it sounds to me, based on what the board has discussed in this meeting, that the recommendations would include a condition for Roller Nation Foundation and not include Vision Resources with a new total that
Yep.
providing motion. If there are any that you feel like you need to recuse yourself from, I think you let the chairman know now, in case the motion needs to reflect that. Or there needs to be more than one motion.
Yeah, I do not. I'm fine.
Alrighty.
All right, I'll make a motion. I will make a motion. We approve for recommendation to the commissions. The grant approvals of the gaming, the local share program as presented with 2 adjustments. First, the Vision Resources application, which was presented with a $15,000 recommendation to 0. And also the Roller Nation, which had the recommendation, Roller Nation recommendation for $19,000 to have a condition applied to that the dollars need to be used as presented, but are to draw the dollars down. The War Memorial Field must be in operation in the fall of 2026.
I'll second that.
So I'm on a motion. Second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? If you guys indulge me, we'll circle back to public participation. Is there any public participation?
Oh, there we go.
My name is Evelyn. I'm from the Lower Paxton Township Community Garden. We applied for a grant. I believe it was for around 30,000. And I just wanted to share with the progress of our garden so far. I have pictures from our opening day. If you guys can take a look at that.
Excuse me. Creative Community Grow.
Oh, yeah, that was in partnership with Lower Paxton Township.
Can you say that again?
Creative Community Grow.
Creative Community Grow.
It's on the top of the second.
Yep, there it is. You were looking for 46,800.
Okay, yes. So yeah, I just wanted to share the progress. We've been having like widespread support from the local government, the school district, and the state government even showed interest in what we were doing. And these are some pictures for everybody, like of our opening day. And there's a proclamation, little card that Lower Paxton Township wrote for us. And it's been really successful so far. I wasn't expecting it because it's the first year. So having a wait list the first year is something that, even the township
Oh,
wasn't
yeah, I'm not gonna be able to
expecting.
read that.
You have a wait list to get into the community grow.
Yeah, and they're $50.
Oh,
So
that's
we reserved 10 for community use. We will open it up a couple times a week for the community to come in there. We're also working with a group to do community service and things like of that nature. So yeah, it's just really awesome to see this immersive, integrated come together finally. I just want to
Well, thank you much.
Yeah.
Always nice. Good news.
Yeah.
You want that garden to grow, don't you? You were down how many
Absolutely.
inches?
I saw 5. Was. Yeah, so, yeah, dwindling.
All right, so thank you much, and seeing other public participation, circle back to our regularly scheduled program at board comments.
Great job. Yeah, again, yeah, really well done. It's a huge task to pull that together and just a lot of details. Oh, yeah.
I think Matt is certainly looking at his right side of the hair right, when he says
I wasn't
that,
looking
well
left.
done. And no, I've been here a number of years serving on this, and it wouldn't be possible without the support that occurs from everybody here. You guys take all the calls, all the meetings with a lot of folks, and I can understand that probably it's stressful, but you put together a lot of great summaries for us to be able to review, look at. In the early years, it was a lot easier. Quite a this thing has certainly been successful and has grown. So thank you for what you do. Any other comments?
Did we get to the part where like you discussed the words
No, that'll happen Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we just
Yes.
make a recommendation to.
And I think in,
They're presented.
yes, yes. I think your group was being recommended for 20,000 is what was in, the motion that we just did.
Okay.
So,
So
Yeah.
the game advisory board is a recommending body,
mhm.
and they administer the program for the county, review the applications, of course, hear from applicants and presentations and that kind of thing. And then they make recommendations to the Dauphin County Commissioners. The commissioners take the final action or make the decision on who actually gets an award and the amount, but they receive recommendations.
Okay. Does that mean, so the budget is now lowered to 20,000?
That you asked for 9, I think, and
Yeah.
and you get through with suggestions.
Yeah.
And most people that ask for grants don't get the full amount.
Okay.
Or typically.
Yeah, that 50%.
Yeah.
Plus is where a lot of that falls out.
Yeah, thank you. This is my first grant, so.
Great.
Yeah, no,
Congratulations.
great. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So any other comments from the board members? If not,
No,
there's an item number 9 on the agenda.
I will make a motion for that.
I'll second.
Meeting adjourned.